What's up, you guys? It is the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls show. No throwback this week. He is taking the week off. So it's your boy Anakin in the host seat. Finally. I have finally taken my rightful spot, per se. I am joined by the AWO, Aaron World Order. Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm good. Just a little tired, I'm just a little tired, but I'm good overall.
Yeah. So we're here, and we're gonna talk the PlayStation conference, right? Right? No, I'll tell you what. I'd like to be able to spend 5 minutes at the end talking that maybe the Matrix trailer, which dropped today as well.
We could talk about that too.
So yes, but we are gonna get through the wrestling stuff first.
Yeah.
So let me just say this. Is there anything from WWE you want to talk about? Is there anything you feel?
I only say this about WWE.
Okay.
Raw has been decent. I haven't seen Raw this week, but I heard it's been decent. Raw has been decent.
Yeah.
That's pretty much about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show and see what I can do because that's a big show.
Yes. So we'll do WWE talk because this is majority. I think it's safe to say majority of this is going to be about All Out and AEW.
And yesterday, Dynamite.
And Dynamite last night.
I mean, NXT was pretty fun. Some of the stuff in NXT was pretty fun.
I don't have a clue what happened on NXT.
The Bachelor Party.
Okay, that's true. I did hear about that. That seemed like people enjoyed that. Yeah. And that was also the last of the old NXT because next week we get the revamped NXT. Maybe I will check out that episode.
It's gonna be a big show to the debut show.
Yeah. So so we'll see. So as far as WWE, the Madison Square Garden, which I think it's been a while since they've done TV.
Yeah, they only did house shows.
Yeah, and because doing TV in Madison Square Garden reportedly is expensive. So typically when they go to New York, they go to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, which is way cheaper.
Much cheaper
to do TV. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up. I didn't have time to get this together beforehand, but let me see if I can pull up a preview. They might not have a preview up
I know
yet.
I know what's happening. I know the main stuff is happening. I could tell Brock Lesnar returns.
Yeah.
Seth and Edge are having their second match.
Yeah.
And there's a contract signing for the Women's SmackDown Championship.
Yeah.
There is another match. Street Profits versus the Usos.
Okay. Well, that should be good because those are both two good tag teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so contract signing Becky and Bianca. You think
Warren's favorite thing?
What?
Warren's favorite thing.
Yeah. Do you think anybody's going through that table?
I don't know. Maybe Bianca pushes Becky through the table to get her attention with her finisher. I don't think Becky pushed her through the table, or maybe Becky pushed her disarm her on the. Sasha, when Sasha did a bank statement to Bianca Belair on the announce table when they had their contract signing? Maybe something similar like that with Becky pushing her disarm her, or that rock bottom move. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to. See, then I was even looking like, what's on the card for Rampage tomorrow? See if I can find something official, and it's not, but I think I remember that. But yeah, Brock Lesnar comes back. Is he my question? Only question about that is he going to still have the ponytail and the beard, or is he gonna? It's a different look for him, and
you know what? It makes him look more dangerous.
You think so?
Yeah, because also I know like Brock Lesnar likes to isolate himself. Like he's admitted he doesn't like people. It looks even more
Yeah,
like it even makes him look more like he isolated himself. You know, like you know.
yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that could, yeah. Uh, and it is going to be interesting to see because I am actually gonna make the effort to watch SmackDown
And
down tomorrow.
and I don't th-
I'm not gonna be getting much
and
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
be
think
getting
um
much sleep tomorrow
uh,
because because I'll drop my son off at school in the morning.
yeah.
Then I'll lay down and get some sleep, but then I have to get up because I've got a dentist appointment at noon.
Oh yeah.
So, and so depending on how
I,
long that takes, but I'm planning on watching SmackDown tomorrow, and it should be interesting. I also wonder, like, are they going to do anything different with the stage? Because if you remember,
oh
most of the
yeah.
time when they're at Madison Square Garden, the side where the hard cam is looking
Yes.
at is normally where they actually come out to the ring, and they don't do it from the left
I'm amazed
side.
you remember that because it's been such a long time.
Well, you know how many times I've watched WrestleMania 20 or the
Oh.
Royal Rumble 2008 when John Cena comes back, because
Oh
those
yeah.
were all, and then there was a TV match. It's like the one. It was like the one time um, that John Cena and Undertaker
Was
were
was Mick Foley Triple H in that match in that arena
in
too?
2000. Yep, Royal
Okay.
Rumble
Yeah,
2000. Yep,
I remember that. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember how. Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of like the Performance Center kind of setup, almost.
For Royal Rumble.
No, for Madison Square Garden because the Performance Center. Remember they had the way the cam was.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah, but it wasn't.
but no, because the heart. Well, yeah, except the difference is that was actually like a square,
Yeah, that's
kind
true.
of, where and they moved the camera because if you remember when they very first did the PC, they had the camera on the normal side and they come down to the side, and then after a
Yeah.
few weeks they rotated it 90 degrees
Now
so that
now
it was at the back of the hard cam's at the
they do
back
for
of the
NXT
building.
now. They for NXT is what they do for NXT and Performance Center is great. Like the
Yes,
cam.
yes. Um, so yeah. So if they do if they do a little bit of a different look for that, that's not.
Do you think?
I don't think
You
that's
think they,
that's a bad
you
thing.
think they tease the demon tomorrow? Like more of the demon? Because they're teasing. It looks like they teased it last week.
I don't. I don't know because it's all because I mean I guess it would depend on when is the Brock Lesnar match happening, and B,
I hope not Saudi Arabia.
will they want to do a triple threat with that? I wouldn't mind that because the match between Lesnar and Balor at Royal Rumble, I think it was 2020. I think it was 2020.
It could
That
be
match
2020 or 19. One of those.
2019. No, because Daniel Bryan was a champion in 2019. Because
Yes, you're right.
he had the match with AJ, and it was right after that match he brought out the hemp belt. 2020, Brock Lesnar had the WWE title. He faced
No, was it 2020? Him in the World Rumble got them in McIntyre.
You're right. So, what was
It was.
maybe it was 2018.
It could be
No,
18. It could
no,
be.
hold on. No, because 2018. No, that's not right. Because 2018. 28 because
That's a
28.
triple threat match with Strowman and Kane.
Yes. So it must have been. You know what it was? It was 2019 because Brock had the Universal title.
Oh yeah.
Bryan had the WWE title. That's what we're getting mixed up. Daniel Bryan had the WWE title, but Brock Lesnar had the Universal title, and he faced Finn Balor there, and that was a good match. And it was that thing where, he typically had better matches with the smaller guys.
Him and Styles. I think
Balor,
Styles and Bryan.
Balor, Bryan, and Styles. Yeah,
Even Rollins to an extent. Like Rollins
yeah.
is good.
Well, yeah. So yeah, if they do, and Roman and Seth, they've had like 3 matches, I think, Roman and Balor, because Balor beat Roman way back in 2016 to get into the SummerSlam match, and then when Roman had the Universal title, the first time, the red one, when he finally won it from Brock, he finally gave Balor his match for it because he specifically brought up, you never lost this title, you've never had a chance to get it back before. They did have match then, so that's why like all the talk now of Balor never got his match is like he did get it. I remember he did get it because Roman said you never got your shot.
Yeah.
At it. Go, here's here's your chance. But then the match last week was a good one. So, and WWE normally does a pretty good job of making interesting triple threats, and Balor can bump around from
Two big guys. Oh yeah.
people. Yeah. So that should Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
MGS, man. I got Metal Gear on the brain right now. Madison Square Garden, good venue. Hopefully should be a good show. And then Raw, Randy Orton facing Bobby Lashley. Okay.
It's something new, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch Raw either, but apparently the Gauntlet match was good, which again, like they do good Gauntlet matches. Like there was the one that Seth went like an hour on Raw to kick it off. That was good. Then there was the one that Kofi was in right before Elimination Chamber 2019. And then the tag team one that Woods and E did, so Kofi could get a title match at WrestleMania. Like they do a really good job with Gauntlet matches, and thankfully it's been a while since we've really had done one.
WWE, when they want to, they can be really, really good.
Oh
when
yeah,
they want to. They're just lazy.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely. They can put on good stuff. It's just
their pay-per-views are an example of this.
Well, I didn't care for SummerSlam. I
know. So I think the Becky Lynch took the air out of the building. That thing took the air out of the building. But the matches after,
I wasn't feeling it before then. To be honest, I did not watch. I did not see Edge and Seth. I did not see Cena and Roman.
Those were good matches, though. But
and that's what I heard. But I couldn't, and I said my thing about the Becky stuff. But
they could put on good matches when they could put on good matches and good pay-per-views.
Yeah,
when they wrestle. It's this creative storylines that they don't make sense. And some of the finishes in the matches, like it's always like the same kind of finish, a distraction or like a roll up or something like that,
or a disqualification. Yeah. But you want to talk good pay-per-views?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Oh my goodness! So my cousin came over because she was in town from Chicago. This was her first ever pay-per-view she's watched, like period. She never even watched a WWE one. She never watched any on the network. So this was her very first one, and she hadn't seen a minute of AEW. So it's kind of interesting, like people would come in, I'd kind of have to fill her in on like kind of what's happened. But thankfully the video packages also did a good job. And there'd be stuff like for the first match when Miro came out and she goes, "Is that Rusev?" And I said, "Yeah, it is. This is how he should have been booked. He's really good." She was, and then the end. I
love Rampage leading up to that match without Kingston redeemed his nuts.
Yeah. And then the end with Bryan Danielson coming out. Wow, that's pretty impressive. But
I thought it was a swerve at first, right? I thought the Cole thing was a swerve at first.
Oh yeah. Everybody did.
It was. So I just heard what WWE was planning to make. You read about that? What WWE was planning to do Cole.
I saw that. I could now. It's okay. Maybe you can answer this for me. Yesterday, because I think yesterday on Listen Your Boy, Sean was asked that question in Super Chat, and he said something about it. I thought it was either I didn't hear that or I haven't heard that rumor. Do you remember what he said?
I forget too, but. Because I did listen to it, but I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. He said because he
I
said
read it
something.
today. I read it today. Like he
Yeah.
was supposed to be they were talking about him being a manager for Keith Lee, and it wasn't even the writer's idea. It was like Vince McMahon's idea or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the rumor started yesterday, and then
Okay,
today it started making. But
why? Why would he
but
do that?
well, I don't know. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like if Adam Cole, if he met with Vince and that was a pitch that Vince made, I'd be like,
I don't think
no,
the
I'm
I don't
not
think
going
the
to
Twitch
sign.
thing. I'm starting to think the Twitch thing was not the reason he left. I think it's that.
See, and there's so many people that have said WWE lost Adam Cole over his Twitch, and I'm like, I don't think I don't think Adam Cole having his Twitch would have been a deal breaker for WWE.
No.
I don't think that, especially because it was reported that they knew that was non-negotiable for Cole. So they
Yeah.
knew whatever deal they would have to make would have to allow him to do Twitch. So the idea that they said, no, you absolutely are not going to have your Twitch period, and Adam Cole's like, well, then I'm leaving. That's not. I think people who say that they're being ridiculous, and it's like it's like because Adam Cole could have gotten that. He could have gotten that negotiated in his contract if he wanted to, and so
There's
many people.
still people on YouTube as on the main roster. Like Shayna Baszler still has her YouTube channel, and and there's Mia Yim from time to time. Like
and then and there's some people saying, well, how is that fair to like Styles who had to give his up and like all these other people? And I'm like, look, because it wasn't part of their contract time. When it comes time for contract negotiations, they could negotiate that in, and people are like, well, that's a long ways away. And it's like, not unless they renegotiate now.
Yeah, look at Kevin Owens.
If they renegotiate now, that the new deal replaces the old deal.
Yeah.
I had some people telling me, no, the new deal will kick in when the old deal expires. And it's like, that's not how sports contracts work. That's not how contracts work. If you renegotiate while you're still on a deal, then if you renegotiate, this is different from if you're offered a new deal that gets tacked on. If you renegotiate a new deal, like, it replaces, because this is the same thing too, that
it's a business thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing too that happens in acting. If you've got an actor on a show, and because most actors when they do a pilot, they'll sign on for like 7 seasons, and it'll be for a set amount of it'll be for a set amount of money, and typically after like every season, the pay goes up a bit. If they renegotiate in the middle of that new deal and that extra money kicks in immediately. That's not something that they do, that they then have to wait to get until their first deal expires. It replaces that deal. If Styles really wanted to, he could renegotiate a new deal right now that included Twitch, but he's not going to do that because that would make his contract go longer. And he said before that he's probably going to retire when his current contract expires, which is like in the next, I think, couple of years. I think 2024 is when his current contract is up, somewhere around there. For
AEW fans, Styles is not going to AEW.
I don't. I will tell you this: the list of people that I think would not leave WWE grows smaller. Right now, I would put Roman and Seth.
Yeah.
And Becky to a certain extent. Maybe Sasha, even her I'm not sure about, because of the fact that she's been doing The Mandalorian. That can lead to other opportunities. Her Twitter name, not her handle, but her name is her actual legal name.
Alexa Bliss would not leave. I think Alexa Bliss is WWE.
She might not, but it all depends on how creatively satisfied she feels. But like Charlotte,
AEW, Charlotte, yeah, I agree. Charlotte, I could see possibly.
Charlotte is one that, after what's happened with Andrade, with her fiance and her dad, and especially the fact that she's not had great booking either. She's gotten all these title reigns, and so many of them are meaningless and are so short that it's like
she's homegrown too.
Yeah, well, yeah. That it's like I don't. It's like I no longer consider her a WWE lifer. I think she.
But I think when her contract's up, WWE is going to try to. She's one of the few. If when her contract is up, or they have to try to keep her. They have to try to keep her because like. Becky Lynch is the most popular, but Charlotte is like the gold standard of the women's division. She's like the cream of the crop, right?
Oh yeah,
and Charlotte. I do think they need to try to re-sign Kevin Owens, because he could be big in AEW too.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, no. Charlotte is They will throw money at her to keep her. So it all depends. Is it the money that she wants, or because here's the thing: if she becomes a free agent, AEW would be stupid to not go for her.
Oh yeah, I mean, AEW might be the only company that might be able to afford her that could compete with WWE.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, so I get a good amount of money, and I get to go here, and I get to work with my fiance.
I do agree with Brian. I do agree with Brian. I don't think his wife would go be for it.
Yeah, and definitely too, because there's people who when the Iconics got released, there was people saying, "Oh, well, Peyton Royce is going to go to AEW because that's where her husband is," and it's like, not everybody needs to work at the same company where their spouse is.
Malachi.
It has to be good. It has to be good. That's a different story, though, because Zelina signed when her husband was still there. She thought she'd get to be working.
I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what would have happened if that.
I don't know, but like the Iconics or the Inspiration is there. They're not going by like. I don't. I was thinking Impact. Doesn't look like that may be the case, but who knows?
I heard with Tessa Blanchard, like nobody wants Tessa Blanchard, stuff like NWA, and she's a huge woman on the free agent market, but she's still nuclear. Like apparently reports. I mean, Tessa Blanchard.
She's been spending time at Dustin's school. She's I've seen she's liked several posts of Izzy's. So hopefully she's
grown up.
Yeah, but the problem is that until she like acknowledges like, hey, like I really did some crappy things and I was not kind to a lot of people, until she owns up to that and apologizes for it. I don't think major companies like that are still going to be willing to touch her.
Yeah, because I agree. I think she would have been WWE long ago if she didn't have these problems.
Yeah, I think so, because I think so. But I don't know. But so All Out, I think actually, I'm going to say this: best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah,
hands down. And at this point, the only pay-per-view I see that could possibly top it is Full Gear, because I don't see any WWE pay-per-view doing better. I don't see any Impact pay-per-view doing better. Bound for Glory has some potential just because of all the companies involved, but without...
I don't even know what's going on with Impact.
But without... You're not watching it right now?
No.
Oh. But without really knowing like a card yet, it's hard to say. But even then, I think it'd be very, very difficult for Impact. Mm-hmm. Even with talent from other companies coming in.
Talent. It's just that
they
never reached a level of their like.
Well, I don't think. I mean, so the one Impact pay-per-view I've watched is Slammiversary, which was a fun show, but did have some like what, like why is this, like the X Division match was fun, but did have some kind of weird things that happened like within it, and it also wasn't quite as good as because I'd been hyped up about X Division matches because I'd heard, oh, these X matches are like really good, like these are some of like the best matches in TNA history. So I had a lot of hype for that match, and then I'm like, yeah, Okay. But yeah, I think Full Gear at this point is the only pay-per-view that could possibly top it. But even then, I don't know if it could, simply because you had CM Punk's first match since the Royal Rumble 2014. You had Adam Cole as a complete surprise debut, followed by Braniel. Braniel. See, now I'm doing it.
You
Daniel.
were like me. Daniel, I was about to say Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson. See, here's the thing. I normally just call him Bryan because no matter how you know him, it works. Because you can go, oh, Bryan for Bryan Danielson, or oh, Bryan for Daniel Bryan. So if you just say Bryan, like you're covered. Works. You're never gonna get. It's when you try to. It's when you try to throw the Daniel part in. It all depends because you could put it because if it's But then having Adam Cole as a complete surprise debut, and then Bryan Danielson as an expected debut, but still a surprise, especially with a swerve, an incredible cage match. Incredible cage match
with a
white hot crowd. That crowd was hot for the Lucha Bros, especially after that one kick out.
Just seeing Pentagon without blood everywhere, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, and you had Britt Baker's best title match yet.
Yeah.
Because her match with Shida started slow. It got better by the end. But it did start slow. I did not care for her match with Nyla. I didn't care for it one bit. And then her Red Velvet match. And then her Red Velvet match was good. Yeah, it was fine. But my gosh, Statlander is like in the last couple of months, really ever since Statlander came back from injury, I've become a big Statlander fan. And after she had that impressive double team move on Rampage. Which is just which even like Aubrey's eyes, like if you look at the ref's eyes, if you look at Aubrey's eyes and it happens, her eyes go wide. They go wide. They go wide.
Burst out. Why did it burst out? They're about to burst out.
Like I tried to make it an emoji on Discord and the picture is too big because her eyes get super wide.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah.
And Jamie Hayter's a big woman too.
Oh yeah. oh yeah. And and I mean Statlander, she's just so good. Yeah. She's so good. And Britt is so good too. I love this was something that Alex said on the Fightful post show, and he's 100% right. You know how in the WWE games there'll be all these different stats for like striking and strength and power move stuff. And Britt Baker's ability to find the camera at the right time is at a 99 because she can always find the camera. Britt does such a great job. She does not just because so many wrestlers, when they're doing a match, play more to the live crowd than the TV, which makes sense because the live crowd is there and they're the ones giving you the reaction. Britt makes sure she gives something to the TV too, because when she looks right at the camera, she gives the looks, she says a little thing. In some ways, sometimes she'll pay more attention to the TV audience than the live crowd. But the live crowd just eats it up too, especially because they'll have it on the screens, so they can see it on the screens as well. She is so good at that. You had Miro and Eddie Kingston kicking off the show with a hot match.
Redeem these nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh, just you had MJF and Jericho. Which so here's the thing about AEW. Going in, we all thought, oh, this is how it should go. This has to be how it goes. And even the things that didn't go the way that we all thought it has to go, they made it work where you go, that makes sense. And Jericho MJF is a perfect example. Because going in, I think most people were going, Jericho needs to lose this. MJF should not be winning this. But the way they booked it with the dusty finish,
Yeah.
and it made sense, and it was like, oh, that works. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That worked, and it worked so well. And it's full kudos. I don't know whoever came up with that finish. Like that was a really smart finish.
Them both.
Maybe, but I mean, as far as I'm thinking more of like whoever. Well, yeah, because Jericho's enough of a veteran right now; he can probably do his own stuff.
I think
but
AEW let him more freedom to tell you how to do a finish.
Yeah. But I mean, so good, and so good. You had CM Punk's debut match with the long tights.
Yeah.
Which Queen of the Ring posted on her Twitter. She posted 2 photos. One, CM Punk in those long tights from All Out 2021. The other one, Shawn Michaels after winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series 2002 when he had those brown ugly tights. And which everybody has questioned Shawn, like, why did you think that was a good idea? And I was like, yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout because it wasn't very. Like it was fine, but it's just like I don't know if that's what he's gonna do going forward. Whatever, maybe it just takes some getting used to because there's that time when Jericho went from the long tights that he'd been wearing to then
pants to the long.
No, to the short ones.
Yeah, that's true. That's when he became serious Jericho, right?
Yeah. And since then, he's gone back to wearing pants. So maybe it's one of those things where it just.
I'd love that Jericho, the serious Jericho.
It just takes some time.
That was some of his best work.
Maybe it just takes some time getting used to, but I mean, I don't think there was one bad booking decision on the whole show. The only small negative I would put is Paul White and QT Marshall could have gone about a minute shorter.
Yeah.
Minute and a half. I didn't need to go quite as long. There were some tall Paul chants. They were faint, but they were there.
Yeah.
They were there. And some people had tall Paul signs, and one person also had a mute Denise sign, which was great. That popped me. I did see that, and I was like, that popped me. That was the only thing. Omega and Christian was good. We knew it was going to be good because we'd seen it on Rampage. Of course,
I don't think it was good as a Rampage match. I think
I'd agree. I would agree. I don't think it was as good. But I liked how they just they went at it right away. Like didn't wait. Not gonna go through pretenses. Like let's just feeling each other out. Like no, let's just go. And I like how on Dynamite, how you've got Kenny and now he's starting stuff with Brian, but then when all the elite come into the ring, you still get Christian and Kazarian and Jurassic Express coming in because it's like hey, like we had our match. That doesn't mean now we're just done with you and we don't care what you do anymore. Like no, we're still mad at you and upset at you. And I like the fact that they did that. I forgot Moxley and Kojima, which was good. And then Suzuki comes out, and which goes nuts. And then the match last night, people are upset that you didn't get the full song and get to sing it. And I'm just like, as somebody who doesn't watch New Japan, I was like, I didn't really mind. I didn't really care. But it was weird how the last 2 minutes of Dynamite was just Moxley going all on the crowd.
Well, it's hometown, right? Because it's
sure, but for 2 minutes or 3 minutes,
Yeah, I know.
Is that
They sh-
is that is that is that hold on. What? I spent the last 3 hours helping her find a good shiny. Oh, is your roommate back? Is that what happened? Is your roommate back? I'm guessing so. That must be why. That must be why. But yeah, like it's been. I get he's a hometown guy, but like 2 minutes just going in the crowd, that's kind of crazy. No, no, thank you. No,
you get killed, man. You see that match?
unless you're talking about we faced them in a video game.
Yeah.
If we face them in a video game, okay.
But
You're talking like an actual match.
Drew lives closer to Arthur Ashe. How about him in the handicap match against the Lucha Bros?
Yeah, but you're talking actual match. No, 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 no. But
Wait,
yeah.
someone took your account on Twitch? What?
Oh, he's talking about the Drew's opponent.
Oh,
because he did.
Okay.
Okay, Mox could have run to the ring. But again, did you need him in the crowd for like 2 or 3 minutes afterwards? Especially because we're thinking, is something going to happen? And then nothing. And like, okay. I like this stuff. Okay, actually, 2 things from Dynamite last night involving Britt that I loved. 1, Britt to Ruby. Why don't you go back to catering where you spent the last 4 years of your career? My gosh!
She's like,
that was such a burn.
Yeah, because it's kind of true, man. They did it dirty.
And it's the kind of thing where if they said that line in WWE, it wouldn't work because it's like you put her in catering. You can't write the line after you put her in catering.
It's a shot at WWE. It's a shot at WWE.
Well, but Britt can say it because she's in a different company, so Britt can say it, and that was so good. And then Adam Cole, when he gets on the mic and he gets right in Tony's face and he goes, "I know you're tight with Britt. You better stay away from her. If you look at her the wrong way," I was like, "Oh, it's so good." And it does make me wonder if Britt will address that to like,
if WWE did that, it would be a love triangle. Oh, WWE would make it a love triangle
for sure. Even though Tony Schiavone's happily married, happily married. He's a grandpa. Okay.
Was his kid on Dynamite too, like a couple weeks ago?
Yes, because yes, he was. Yes, you're right. Yes. But it makes me wonder if the next time Tony interviews Britt, if Britt's gonna say something and be like, "Don't worry, I talked to Adam. You're good. You're fine."
He's only a babyface to Tony Schiavone. That's the only time she's a babyface is to Schiavone.
And see now, here's the thing. I don't need to have Britt and Adam Cole on the screen at the same time. I don't need to have that. We already know that they're a couple. We know that they're a couple. They've been a couple for a while. Heck, Britt Baker. I don't know if they are, but it's like, heck, Britt Baker was shown on NXT during TakeOver after it was either after Cole and Gargano at the SummerSlam at the SummerSlam TakeOver falling off the cage. No. It was when Ciampa did the air raid off the top of the cage of Cole in War Games, putting him through the table. That was when they cut.
And that was definitely that was so on purpose. That was WWE says they're not a competition. AEW, that's why you put her on cam, right?
Well, according to Triple H, the camera operator or director or whatever didn't know,
bullshit.
Nobody bought that. Nobody bought that. That's like not buying that. But like we know they're a couple, but they don't need to do the Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins thing where now they're on screen. We don't need to have that.
That almost ruined Becky Lynch's height of Becky Lynch's like hot, like her being so hot with the fans and stuff, like her
Yeah.
popular. That almost ruined her.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't need to do that. Britt can be doing her thing with the women's division. Cole running with the elite. They make references to each other,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't get them on screen. I do like the idea though of Britt at some point going up to CM Punk and saying, "Glad to see somebody in your household finally decided to show up for work," and then potentially getting a CM Punk AJ Lee mixed tag with Cole and Britt. But I don't need to see them together. I don't, it's the kind of it's the kind of thing where most of the time it's worked well with Naomi and the Usos or Bianca and the Street Profits, where
You do it like once in a while. You don't make it like very like.
Right, and I think that's what you could do with Cole and Britt.
Yeah.
Like if you once in a while, like if it's a once in a while thing, like if the elite are having a party or something, have Britt there with a title, have Rebel and Jamie Hayter there, and they're there, and that's fine. And maybe it's a thing where then you use that one party, something happens with the elite, and something happens with Britt. Two separate storylines, but it happens at the same party where they're both there. That's fine. I predicted when Rio came out and then Statlander, I predicted, that's a 6-woman tag. I'm down for that, and we're getting that tomorrow night. We're getting that tomorrow night on Rampage.
I mean,
and again,
Rio, I don't know if it's a TV cam, but Rio looks like she gotten taller.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Pretty sure she hasn't gotten taller.
Sure. I think so.
But it must have, yeah. But again, I like the fact that so Statlander, she lost her match. That doesn't mean she's not gonna that she doesn't still have issues with Britt. She may not be actively feuding with Britt, although the moment she kind of is because of the 6-woman tag. But she may not be actively feuding, but it doesn't mean she doesn't still have issues. So I like that. One thing I did want to ask you about. This has been running in my head. Cole and Brian in their post-media scrums both talked about how they loved their time in WWE.
Yeah.
They loved the people that they were working with. Brian, said he had a good relationship with Vince. They both still chose AEW. My question to you is, do you think that's going to have a big impact on some of the rest of the roster that are in WWE?
Yes.
Especially former Ring of Honor people, because Ring of Honor that were around roughly during that time. Take Samoa Joe, take him out of that equation because he had the chance to move and he didn't, and then he just recently parroted the whole thing of he doesn't get the point of the Forbidden Door. Take Seth Rollins, take him out of the equation as well because he reiterated once again today when talking about Gable Stevenson about how he thinks WWE is the best wrestling company in the world. Take those two out. I'm looking at Kevin Owens. I'm looking at Sami Zayn, even though Sami was never in Ring of Honor, as I've come to find out. But I'm looking at Owens. I'm looking at Sami. I'm looking at Kyle O'Reilly. I'm looking at Roderick Strong. I'm looking at those kind of guys, especially the people who would have been close to Brian and Cole. Like, do you think that has the potential to possibly come the time that those guys' contracts are up, they start thinking, maybe I should go over there instead?
100%. Look, I'm going to compare this a little bit to WCW with the Outsiders. This is the thing. The Outsiders, they made it because of money reasons. But if they said WWE did match what they're going to offer, they would have stayed at WWE. And they both loved Vince. So, and I know that's money, but I do think these superstars now will look like if they all have a good relationship with Vince and Triple H, it may not be good enough now. I think they're looking for wrestling. Look, AEW does have AEW does is sports entertainment. Actually, I think they do sports entertainment better than WWE does when they want to.
Well, again, I wouldn't call them sports entertainment. Especially because they say we are professional wrestling.
I know,
And
but when they have those once in a while, they do sports entertainment. And I think it's still better than WWE.
I don't see it. Here's the thing. I don't think that's sports entertainment. I think that's just part of
Yeah.
pro wrestling. Vince just doesn't like the term wrestling. He doesn't like the word
He used
wrestling.
to.
He doesn't. Yeah. Real
But
quick.
I think they like to wrestle.
Hold on real quick. Bobby Fish has gotten released from WWE. So
I think Fish
he could once his no compete is up, he could go wherever he wants.
I know his pro wrestling teams. I know his pro wrestling team shop is up now.
Yeah.
So so look, they got a good. It's all about what the other company offers. If they don't like, if Cole got a good relationship with Vince, but if I was Cole and I heard back, we want you to be a manager for Keith Lee, I would leave in a heartbeat.
Well, Cole only had the one meeting with Vince. I think he's only ever met Vince once. Brian was the one who said he had a good relationship with Vince.
WWE tends to be too careful with the wrestlers, especially injury-prone wrestlers, which I think, and with Daniel Bryan especially.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad thing, except when you look at the fact that how many people did their doctor specifically say you're not gonna be able to wrestle anymore. And how many of them are wrestling again? Edge, Brian, Christian.
Paige is thinking about it.
Paige is looking at it. Sting.
Yeah.
Like all
Ric Flair's gonna do her. She joined
WWE doctors told all these people, you're not gonna be able to wrestle again.
And
all of them are wrestling again except for Paige.
CM Punk changed everything. Because remember what CM Punk said about his time when he had that serious infection?
Yeah.
They were making him wrestle, and ever since like that, they took injury serious because they don't want to look bad anymore.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, because Sting was after Punk.
Oh yeah, with the buckle bomb incident was sad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and then even looking at like Sheamus, like I remember a while ago, I asked Sean Ross Sapp in a select Q&A, like, hey, so I remember around WrestleMania 34 time, people were telling you that they were surprised Sheamus was able to make it to WrestleMania with his spinal stenosis, and that was one of the reasons that he got put in a tag team, was so that he would be able to go longer because he wasn't going to be having to take all of the bumps in the match. Now he's doing singles.
Yeah, like what the hell happened? Like,
are they thinking that his condition's gotten better? And Sean's like, yeah, actually, yeah. Like a year and a half ago, at that point, this was 2020. People were surprised that Sheamus had made it to WrestleMania that year, and now he's in like the best shape that he's ever been, and he's on one of the best singles runs that he's ever had. So even like with Sheamus, like they thought, oh, this is only going to get worse, and it turns out maybe not. Which then makes you wonder, like, because there's other people that WWE doctors have said you're not going to be able to wrestle again. Like
Christian was one of them.
Like, well, yeah, I'm talking now that they said like Jason Jordan, Tyson Kidd. Like these are people, and Tyson Kidd may be a different thing because from the way that Natalya described it when they first got to the hospital after he took that muscle buster.
Yeah.
You had outside doctors saying, before you had WWE doctors saying no. So it could be different for Tyson, but Jason Jordan, I mean, and we've heard that Jason Jordan still hopes to be able to wrestle again someday.
Still young, so possibly Paige. Like I can see Paige. She's still very young, so
she's only 29. Yeah. She's not even 30. She accomplished so much, and she's not even 30 yet, which is insane.
That may help her. Youth may help her with that. She'll be able to heal faster.
Yeah, well, and now she's like mentally ready for it again because she's mentally ready to actually really try.
Her contract is up next year, too.
Yeah, so and she's not doing anything except Twitch Like she
She doesn't
was
need
on
wrestling. She doesn't need wrestling.
she was on WWE backstage, and then when that show got canceled, she literally hasn't been used for a single thing.
She doesn't need it, but I think she still has a passion for it.
Oh, definitely. I definitely
Yeah.
think. I mean, her mom was wrestling when she was pregnant with Paige before she even knew it.
Yeah, it's hereditary, man.
Paige has been wrestling for as long as she can remember. Like it's definitely in her blood.
Yes, yeah. And so I do like it's not. I don't. It's not about relationships. It's about opportunity and in the direction the companies are going. No, WWE is going to be fine. They're not. It's not going to get to a point where they're going to go out of business. Where they're at a point of going out of business like they did back in the '90s when WCW was around. That's not going to happen. WWE is going to make a profit. It's just their problem is not as creativity and they're not pushing talent. Look, they're pushing some talent like Damian Priest. I'm good for them because Damian Priest is a hell of a talent.
Yeah.
But they're not pushing everybody, and they've released like 100 people, and the majority of them are superstars. I think they're looking at that and be like, "Yeah, I don't know if this is a place I want to work for,"
Yeah.
And if I was an independent wrestler, and what we heard about the new NXT, they're looking for people that are not for the performers that are not exactly experienced in the wrestling scene. So I can, so if I'm an independent wrestler, and not a well-known independent wrestler, you're probably not getting looked by WWE.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rampage tomorrow. You got a 6-woman tag. So it's Ruby Soho, Chris Statlander, and Riho versus Britt Baker, DMD. Can't forget the DMD. Rebel, and Jamie Hayter. We get Pac and Andrade, which got pushed from the All Out pay-per-view itself because of travel issues. And according to Sean Ross Sapp, that's a match to check out. That's a match to watch.
Because it's taped.
Yes. And then we're also getting
Darby Allin is no, it's not wrestling Darby Allin.
No, Darby Allin is happening. Is happening next week.
Okay.
Let me see here. Let me look on their Twitter.
Oh no, that's
Max Caster taking on Brian Pillman Jr.
I hope Pillman kills him.
Which was
beats him.
And then Sting and Darby Allin are going to respond to Tully Blanchard. Which BT Dubs. Is Tully Blanchard angling for a match with Sting in 2021?
Yeah. I mean, they have history, right? Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. Well, as DGMC...
Or it could just be FTR and Sting and Darby Allin.
As DGMC likes to say, Tully Blanchard was the best thing about the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view from the late 90s. Widely considered one of the worst pay-per-views ever. And for some reason, DGMC was like, I'll go ahead and watch it. What do I have to lose? And I was like, you're crazy for watching that. And then he watched it and said, Tully Blanchard's promo was the best thing about it. But it's like that would be... It's
going to be interesting when Flair joins AEW. Have Flair, Anderson, and Blanchard, and Sting. I think Sting was in the Horsemen for a little bit, then they turned on them because they knew they could make him a huge babyface. But it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But and then next week, we know we're getting Darby and Sean Spears.
Yes.
We're getting Darby and Sean Spears. We're getting Adam Cole in his AEW wrestling debut against Kazarian. And
I think we're getting Lance Archer versus Moxley.
No, because Lance and Suzuki are, I think they're either issuing it on Rampage or on Dynamite. They're going to issue a challenge against Moxley, which presumably will be a tag team match with Moxley and Eddie Kingston. presumably.
Suzuki-gun connections right there. That's why.
Yes, so that's really good. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, right now AEW, they've got all the buzz, they've got all the hype, and WWE really doesn't have any, except for Brock. Because I don't even think there's really any for Becky, unfortunately. But they've got a little bit for Brock. But
they're trying with Becky so hard. That's SmackDown especially.
Yeah. All right. We got 4 minutes left. We got through all the wrestling topics that we were that we were going to get through. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't have this guy trying to take up all the time saying, I'm 2 belts Drew. Well, you're no belts Drew now, boy. And now
he's got stuff done.
And now he's trying to be like Kenny Omega and trying to be the belt collector. You're just going from one, belt I'm collecting gimmick to another. Come up with something original.
One fails, you go to the other. That's what.
I mean, look at this. Even his avatar is of Bray Wyatt. He just takes other people's gimmicks and tries to make it his own. He can't do his own thing. Such a shame. So, real quick. So, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 3 things. Number 1. Holy cow. Is Insomniac ever going to slow down? They're making a Wolverine game and Spider-Man 2
connected universe. Time. Connected.
Possibly.
It looks like possibly. I think it will be.
Possibly.
It's that Wolverine might be violent because compared to Spider-Man, Wolverines tend to be more violent, but you know what? They'll tone it down.
But I mean, holy cow. Like Wolverine game, and then they pull out the Spider-Man thing. Cheeman with,
Venom and Kraven.
It looks like you're going to be playing as Peter and as Miles.
Yeah.
We hear Kraven's voice, but then we hear and see Venom. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, is Kraven going to get the Venom symbiote, or are they teaming together? I don't know. And then, of course, the Matrix 4 trailer. What a trailer.
Yeah. That's
insane. That is I just can't even, it looks really good. I personally liked Matrix Reloaded. Revolutions was fine. I don't.
They weren't John Wick a little bit. You look like John Wick in the trailer.
Well, yeah, because he's got the hair. Matrix 2 and 3, they're not as good as Matrix 1.
No.
But I really enjoy Reloaded. I actually really enjoy that. The whole fight that Neo has in the Merovingians house with the vampires and all the different weapons. That's one of my favorite fights of all time. The music in that is one of my favorite pieces of soundtrack music. The fight is so good. It's the kind of thing where I praised Shang-Chi when I saw that last week. That because you could see the fights and actually see what was going on.
Yeah.
And Matrix has always been really good about doing that. So I'm hoping they'll do that this time. And I forgot that's coming out this year, which means I will be able to see it on HBO Max. So I don't have to go see it in a movie theater. So I like that. That's good for me. So yeah, so I'm hyped for all that. Also, Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, so good. Knights of the Old Republic is one of my all-time favorite games. All time. And I love the character of Revan. I instantly recognize the voice as that of Bastila, who is played by, and I am just all of a sudden I am now completely blanking on her name. It's Jennifer Hale. I remembered it before I looked it up. Jennifer Hale, who I have known Jennifer Hale's voice ever since she voiced Felicia Hardy / Black Cat in Spider-Man the Animated Series. She was also the voice of the female Gumshoe in Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego, the cartoon.
Yeah.
She was the voice of Bastila in Knights of the Old Republic and reprised it for KOTOR 2.
Isn't she the voice of the female Commander Shepard?
She's Fem Shep. She's Fem Shep in Mass Effect. She is Fem Shep in Mass Effect. She's one of those voices where I when I hear her voice, I recognize it. I was like, that's Jennifer Hale. I know who that is. Big fan of her work. Very excited. I'm excited for that. So yeah, so this has been a good week for me. Had an incredible pay-per-view. I'm getting a KOTOR remake, Wolverine game, Spider-Man 2.
God of War, Ragnarok.
I have not yet played God of War
Oh.
2018, so I've got to get on that. So
That's great. You gotta play
it looks really good. It looks really good. It's like, is he teaming up with Thor? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think so.
But anyways, so that is gonna do it for us. Aaron, tell them where they can find you.
You can find my channel at AW Aaron Warder. I do wrestling streams, pop culture, I don't know, whatever stuff.
All right, you can find me down there at anakinjmt. You can find our boy Throwback. You can find him. Well, besides here on this channel, he is on Twitter at now. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. Because again, he's got 7. See, this is why I looked it up. You can find him on Twitter at Throwback978. Even though he's Throwback 27 here. Throwback, I'm telling you, you've got to fix all your names so that you've got one number. One.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You are either Throwback 27 or you're Throwback 978. Pick a freaking number and stick with it. Especially if I'm gonna be hosting stuff and I'm gonna plug your stuff for you. I don't want to have to be looking it up because I'm going, oh, he's got 2 numbers. Which one is it? Pick a number.
I second that.
Yes. Oh, also, hold on. One other thing I have to plug. Hold on a second. Let me find it real quick. If you want to follow this guy on Twitter, he is at Mike 82605447. Because of course, he is a troll who will do that. Mike 82605447. However, he is no longer a coward. Because Tomas Gories has replaced DGMC as a coward. He has replaced him. I have officially declared that. I have officially because I was the one who first said DGMC was a coward. He is now officially declaring he is no longer a coward. He is sometimes cowardly, but he is not a coward anymore. Yes. And I guess you can follow him at, what is your Twitter anyway? You changed yours. Yours too. Is it still Big Money Drew? It is at Big Money Drew. There it is. Also, I don't care. So that makes you look even worse, Drew. That means that means that you've been copying other people's gimmicks for longer. That just makes you look bad. That's not good. So anyway, Throwback should be back next week. Go ahead and visit his Twitter, Throwback978. Remember that this time. Show him the love. He's had a rough week, that's for sure. So go and show him some of that sweet love. So for Mr. AWO, I am anakinjmt. We are the Wicked Crazy Crew, and we will see you next time.